What was it like to be a 3-sport varsity athlete?
You talking to me or him?
Definitely him.
Oh, okay. Because I was too.
Were you? What
Yeah.
3?
Football, basketball.
Football, baseball, basketball. And I ran
why
track
don't you
too.
play baseball?
Hold up.
bro?
This is my first time hearing the baseball shit.
I know. Why don't you
Come on,
play
man,
baseball?
You better
bro?
ask a couple people in here that know.
I knew you was,
Center field,
football
first
and
base.
basketball.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened to baseball?
Just travel basketball picked up, so I stopped playing
So now I know
baseball.
why I call you Pedro. Now I know why I call you Pedro. You was calling baseball too. My bad. Now I know.
Now it's not racial. Understood. Understood. It's not racial, America. It's not. Don't find him. Nah, bruh. It was cool. Like, in all honesty, sports are what keep me going. You know, sports are that's what energizes me. I was good enough at basketball. I wasn't great. I was really good at track and discus. It's a technical thing. I was really good at track. But football, I was so raw, I knew I could be good. And I was never the biggest, never the smartest, but I was like, I'm either going to be the biggest, the fastest, or I'll be the smartest. And I was never the biggest or the fastest, but I was like, okay, people don't realize, and y'all get this, man, sports, you got to be smart.
It's 90%
Your IQ
mental.
got to be high, yeah.
90% mental.
Like, you have about 90 plays on a football field. During the game, you take about 30 of them in, and adjustments based on a receiver motioning and moving, especially as a middle linebacker,
Right.
You have to be brilliant. Like, people don't get it. People don't respect athletes intellectually enough. You got to be brilliant.
Playing football in Texas, was there any chance that you would go somewhere else for college?
No, not a chance, bro. Never.
Never.
Texas, we were nice, but bro, remember we had Vince Young was 05.
Yeah.
I went to Texas in 08. So there was no. I mean, you play football in Texas to go to Texas. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even fix your lips to think about going. And I'm not even one of those like crazy diehard alums. I'm just like, no, Texas.
That's what it is.
It's Texas.
That was the standard.
Like, it was a standard.
Talk
bruh.
to us about that experience actually being a Longhorn, though.
First 2 years went crazy. We was 24-1 the first 2 years. Bro, I didn't lose a game.
Who was your quarterback back
Colt
then?
McCoy.
Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy, two-time Heisman finalist, winningest college football quarterback when he retired, when he left college. We lost one game my first year, and then we ran the table my second year till we got to the national championship and lost to Bama. Funny enough, we were Bama's beginning of their streak.
Right.
Bama beat us in the national championship, Mark Ingram, Julio Jones, and they go on to win 7 of the last God knows how many. But, bro, when you're winning at Texas,
Nothing like it, huh?
I mean, bro, whew, don't get me started. Ain't nothing like it. Nothing like it, man.
So talk to me about this, though, on some other shit. Being in such a strict household and then kind of gaining some sort of freedom and you're a young man at Texas now, you're on a winning football team. What's that like to you? Because you were so confined in one space and now you're somewhat free and you're on top of the world.
Man, that's good, bro. They say when you go to college, at least when you go to Austin 6th Street, it's going to make or break you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're away from home, it's either going to make or break you. I don't think it broke me. You know, it was cool being away from home. The thing about it, though, I had my big brother there. He's 1 year older than me. And so I think he made all the mistakes for me. And he knew just how far I could go before reeling me back in. And the big thing was just like, don't make the pivotal mistake. You know, have fun, live your best life, but keep your grades up. Don't get suspended. Don't do nothing wild. And like, for really, if you Nigerian, it's like, don't embarrass your last name, right? There's a saying y'all probably heard with Nigerians, Naija no de carry last. Naija no de carry last. Nigerians don't carry last. It's like, you can't finish in last. And all that is in kind of Nigerian culture is like, you got to be the best.
Right.
And so I didn't really have that luxury of just doing whatever, because it's like, you got to be the best at whatever you do. Plus, my freaking brother was there. He was a genius. He was an academic All-American. He was an athletic All-American. So I was like, oh, God. So, yeah, that was college, man.
What's your most memorable moment on the field?
Golly, that's a question. My senior year at Missouri, this is how I ended up a third-team All-American. Senior year at Missouri, their field was terrible, bro. Our captain running back tore his MCL, ACL, PCL earlier in the game. Star linebacker next to me, Keenan Robinson, he got drafted to Washington in the 4th round. He broke his thumb. And he broke his thumb, but it broke out of the glove. Like the thumb was no longer in the glove. And that's my dog. Like, Keenan was my dog. I was in his wedding and all that. So star linebacker tears his whole knee up. Keenan's thumb is out of his glove. He runs off the field during the play. He's like, ref, my thumb. He runs off the field during the play. I sit there. The ref doesn't stop the game. They throw a now screen. I run over to the now screen. I force a fumble. I see my team recover. I don't even wait for the ref to signal recovery, and I just run off to the sideline to check on my dog. That was the most memorable. It was like, he got hurt, ref didn't stop the play, they throw a bubble, I force a fumble, don't even care about the ball. I see my other little young bro recover it, and I just run like, hey, what happened to Keenan? That was wild. Yeah, that was wild.
Most valuable takeaway from your 4 years as a Longhorn?
You have to be consistently good to be great. You got to be consistently good to be. Everybody wants to be great, but what's being great look like? Being great looks like being consistently good.
Dedication.
You turn on a tube every day, and if you watch Speak for yourself, like, oh, he's good. Then the next day, oh, he's good. The next day, oh, he's kind of good. The next day, oh, he's kind of good. All of a sudden, it's like, you know what? Guys might be great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be consistently good to be great. Stack, when I was playing ball, I knew the normal plays would come to me, but I would try to find 1 to 2 highlight plays a game, right? If they line up in a certain offset formation, I know exactly what they're going to do. I'm going to go make the big play, tackle for loss, sack, something like that. And now I take the same thing on TV. Right. Every block, every conversation I know is going to be all right. But you got to find the one quotable soundbite that makes somebody, like you said, stop twice and say, hey, y'all make sure y'all run that back. You got to be consistently good to be great.
You said something off camera, now since you talked about, you know, kind of finding your magic in this space now, that I thought was really interesting because, you know, although, you know, our job is to talk sports for the most part, not everyone is interested in sports. So you try to find, well, explain, I don't want to take your words from you, but explain that.
Yeah, man. Not everybody cares about sports, but everybody cares about life. And so I really just use sports as a masquerade to get to the root of life, because everybody wants to talk life. So sports to me is just an avenue to get to life, because life is a vehicle. There it is. It's a vehicle to get to life. Everybody cares about life. Not everybody cares about your favorite team. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. So drafted 6th round in 2012, and I caught what you said earlier in the interview. It was calculated. You had kind of taken your calculations and understand who you were as a football player. You have that 4-year run, 4-year run, and was ready for what was next. But in that 4-year run, what stood out to you the most?
Bro, when I got traded. Because when you get traded, you just think that's a video game. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you trade people on video game, not a big deal. I'm in Cleveland, my first year, they drafted me. And I get the athletic trainer comes in, and he gives me like the handshake pat on the back. I'm like, what the hell? Like, it's been nice knowing you. Y'all know that one, the good old... I head to the general manager, head coach's office, and they're like, hey, Acho, just want to notify you've been traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm trying to hide my jubilee, because I'm like, get me the hell out of Cleveland. Like, we about to go to Philly. They got LaShawn McCoy out there, Mike Vick out there, like some real stars. Craziest thing, though, like, your flight's in 3 hours. I left. True story.
By the way.
Bro, when you get traded, y'all, I don't know if y'all was traded or not. When you get traded, flight's in 3 hours. I went to Philly. I didn't go back to Cleveland for 5 years. Somebody packed up my stuff. They moved it. I get to Philly. I stay in a hotel. And it's just like, you're just goods. You're just packaged goods. So that was probably the craziest and most memorable thing of the 4 years, man. That is wild.
Did you know that sports media stepping into this space was something you wanted to do, or did it just kind of fall in your lap?
It fell in my lap, man. I do what I'm good at. I tell people, I'm like, if I was great at math, I'd be an accountant. You feel me?
Right.
Like, if I was very gracious, I might be a secretary. But I'm a good communicator. And I study it and I work at it, and I'm just good at putting words together. It kind of fell in my lap, bro. Even uncomfortable conversations. Like, y'all realize people move to LA just to create a video in hopes that it goes viral, in hopes that Oprah calls them, in hopes that they get nominated for an Emmy, in hopes that they win. People sell their whole lives and dreams to do that. And I stumbled into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tripped and fell into it. And so I just do what I'm good at. And like I said, I'm bad at a lot. Like, don't get it twisted. I am bad at a lot.
We all know.
But I know what I'm good at, and I lean into that.
I've tripped and fell into a few things, and my child support bills are crazy now.
You're sick.